Folks, welcome back. How y'all doing? This is CCL Sports Cards, and I am your host, Christopher Davies. Welcome to another Crack and Cross reveal. Now, in this episode, we reveal about 14 to 15 cards, which we've collected over the last 3 months of cards where we got the grades back and we thought that it should grade higher. Now, I will say that over the last, 4 months, we've probably cracked over 100 cards now. You may have seen our episodes where we show you how to crack slabs. If not, you can see those links above me and check out how we do that. That's exactly how we crack the cards. What I want to share with you all is that, oftentimes we'll get an order back, and I've had a few in the last year where we'll get like 50 cards back with only 3 gems. And if you look at cards often enough, you kind of have a pretty good idea as to how the card should grade, and that is often the case with us. Sometimes it's a 9 and it'll always be a 9. But if we've got conviction and we know the card should grade higher, then we just ask for a second opinion. Now, do keep in mind, if it's a serial numbered card, it has to go to a different grader because, as I've learned over time, if it's a PSA card or it's been graded by PSA and it has a serial number, it's in a database and they probably will not regrade it. So you'll see a lot of the cards in this reveal have gone over to BGS from PSA Slabs. But what is most important, if you're looking to make more money in the hobby, as we are always searching for more ways to make money in the hobby and enjoy ourselves at CCL, if you get a card back and you're being honest and it gets an 8, but you think it's a 10, you are potentially leaving hundreds, if not in some cases thousands of dollars on the table. So I would encourage you to either find somebody like my guy Dusty at SubHub, who I always talk about, to get a second opinion, or crack the cards yourself and send it in for a second opinion and make even more money in the hobby we all love. Folks, keep that tape rolling. This is going to be a super fun episode. Gang, thanks for sticking with me. This is going to be so much fun. We will get right into the reveal and see how our Crack and Cross has turned out. First up, here we go. We had a Jake Ottinger PSA 8. How did the cross go? Ta-da! Yeah, when I sent this Jake Ottinger in, it was pretty much a flawless card, so I decided to crack it out. Getting a 10. And you've got, a Jake Ottinger in season PSA 8 probably goes for 30 bucks, and these go for about $140 to $150 Canadian in season. So about $120 jump, less the grading fees, but no complaints whatsoever there. Next up, got an Andy Paez FCG 10, the refractor. How did the cross go? BGS 9.5. Now, we could argue that it's kind of a lateral move, but personally, I love the work that FCG does, but a BGS 9.5 just tends to sell for more money. Now, when I did this, mind you, Paez wasn't injured for the season, so I'll hold this card till next year. But, there is certainly a value jump there, but we went from an FCG 10 to a BGS 9.5. Very nice. This was a favorite of mine. So you guys know who watch the show, I'm a big fan of Frank Mazzucato. This green went into PSA, came back as a 7, and personally, I was stunned. Came back from BGS, we got a 9. 3 9s and a 9.5. Very different than a PSA 7. That is one heck of a jump. I couldn't even tell you the value change. It's probably a couple $100 or maybe $100, but again, a 7 is very, very different than 9. Very nice cross. I will mention, as I'm starting to go through these cards, over the last 3 months, I have probably sent in, or we have probably cracked over 100 cards now, aside from the work that I sent to Dusty. And especially with this recent order, which was 32 cards which came back from BGS, 20 of which were cards that we were crossing from PSA. They were numbered cards. They had to go to BGS. We couldn't resubmit them to PSA, at least as far as I understand it. Every single card except for 2 got a grade bump or a significant grade bump going from PSA to BGS. And that's important because when you have conviction in your cards, you look at enough cards, you kind of know, if you're honest with yourself, where the card should grade. And if it gets a really bad grade, crack it out, send it back, ask for a different opinion. This was one of my favorite crosses. This was a Kerstad base auto, a PSA 8. I had this listed for $100. Could not give it away. And I always felt like I got hosed on this order. And here is how it came back from BGS. You see that? A true gem 9.5. So we went from a $100 card I couldn't give away, and Kerstad's been playing better and better. That is probably a $400 card now. very, very nice bump, going from a PSA 8 to a BGS 9.5 True Gem. That was probably one of my favorite crosses, but there are some really good ones in here, so stick with me. Then we had a Desan Brown. For those of you who don't know, Desan Brown is he's a ranked prospect in the Blue Jays organization. Good speed, his power's coming along. He's in high A, pretty young. I like Desan. I felt this card was a 10 when I sent it in to PSA, got a 9, came back as a BGS 9.5. I will note so we had a little bit of a value increase, that went with the black going to a 9.5. This will be a hold for a little while, but I did have 2 Desan Brown PSA 9s that were blues that came back as BGS 9s. So those were the only 2 that didn't see grade bumps, were the 2 Desan Brown blues. And for the sake of time, I'm sort of only showing the highlights from our cracks over the last 3 months. But as I said, we have seen significant grade bumps on many cards when we ask for a second opinion. Then we get into this one. Nathan McKinnon, his Young Guns card. Super cool card. This is a bit of a riskier thing, going from an FCG 9.5 to a Mint Plus. We sent this to BGS. How did it turn out? A BGS 9. Let me see if I can straighten that up. There we go. BGS. Now it's a Min Gem card, but we could agree that while FCG, as I said, does great work, going from an FCG Mint Plus 9.5 to a BGS 9.5, there is a nice value increase, and obviously we'll hold Mr. McKinnon until into the season. Very nice cross there. Very, very nice. If I had to wager, I would say in season we're probably looking at a $200 to $300 jump on the McKinnon in terms of how much we made by crossing it. Now, this card you'll see on screen, I don't have the original slab, as this was sent to my man Dusty out in Washington, who does do some of my higher end Kraken crosses. He does excellent work. I've talked about him dozens of times. This Drohan was a PSA 9, and I know, seeing the card on screen there, it'll be a little grainy, but it's you can clearly see it was a PSA 9, number 20 of 25. I got completely hosed on this order from PSA when it came back. It was almost all 9s. This was the summer of 2022. Went to BGS, came back, True Gem Plus from BGS on the orange. Very nice jump. Now, Drohan has cooled a little bit. He had a wicked start to his season, but since going to AAA for the Red Sox, he has softened. So this will probably sit for a little while, but we went from maybe, again, I was asking about $100 for the Drohan, Canadian dollars, 100 Canadian dollars. And this could probably go for $200, $300, maybe as high as $400 if he gets a little hot. Nice value increase there. We will see. But the point is, going from a 9 to a True Gem Plus, that is a nice move. Then we get to a guy you guys know I like. You can see the link on the screen. We've liked Drew Romo for quite a long time on the channel. It was a PSA 9. It was part of that order with Drohan. It got a 9, where again I said I got hosed. Here comes BGS 9.5 with a 10. Now, Romo is 21. He's in AA. His season is getting better and better, but his cards are probably undervalued right now, and he'll get hot at some point. Being 21, lots of time. Big fan of Drew Romo. Couldn't give that card away for $129 Canadian. I will hold this, and I imagine at some point we will see a significant value increase. But I am very happy going from a PSA 9 to a BGS 9.5 on the Romo. And you'll see the image on the screen. Again, this is another one from my man Dusty. This was a Lonnie White Red Wave. It was numbered 5 of 5, was a PSA 9. We cracked that out. My man Dusty cleaned it up, sent it to BGS. It is a 9.5 on the Red Wave. That card was probably, let's call it $800 US when it was a PSA 9, maybe $700, $800. Lonnie is playing well, but I think I got hurt yesterday. Going to a BGS 9.5, probably in that $1,300 range, $1,200 maybe. It depends on how well he plays, but he has been playing well since going to single A for the Bradenton Marauders. Very nice jump going from PSA 9 to a BGS 9.5. Fans of the show may remember this one. We got the Wander Franco. It was a blue auto from 2020. Bowman picked this up at the Expo in Canada in November of 2022. I was absolutely stunned when this came back as an 8. It was a paper card. You could very clearly see if there was issues. There were none. It was an 8. Stunned. Cracked it out. Cleaned it up. BGS 9.5. Ta-da! 3 9.5s and a 9 Min Gem. Now we can say that, there's some stuff going on with Wander these days. There's some allegations, but that PSA 8 was probably a $100 card. And I imagine if the dust settles for Wander, this is probably a $300 card. Very, very nice jump. Maybe even a little more. We will see if things clear up for Mr. Wander, but I will Was very disappointed in the 8, and I am truly pleased going to a BGS 9.5. Guys, some very, very nice grade jumps in this episode. Super duper exciting. And then we get to this one, same order that the Wander was in. You'll see a pattern here. The order came back, it was quite poor. Same with the Mazzucato. We had a Vanacek exclusives. Card looked pretty good to me, and I thought it would gem. Came back as an 8. Clearly stunned. How did we do on the cross? BGS 9. So we got a grade bump, and we just missed a min gem card. 2 9.5s and 2 9s. I like Mr. Vanacek. Great goaltender. Nice card. I'm very happy with the jump to a BGS 9. A 9.5 would have been nice, but I'm cool with going from an 8 to a 9. Very nice. Might be a bit of a camera shift there, folks. My phone actually ran out of data while I was recording. Raise your hand if your phone's ever run out of data when you're trying to take a picture or record something. But we are back, and we have 2 more cards. This next one is a big one. Mr. Heston Kjerstad, his True Gold Refractor. That was a PSA 8. I bought this card for, I believe, $400 privately. It was the Gold Refractor, numbered 31 of 50, PSA 8. How did we do? BGS 9, just missing min gem. There was a little bit of an edge issue, but 3 9.5s and an 8.5, that is a very nice jump. Again, going from PSA 8, which is maybe a $500 card these days, as Heston has been killing the ball lately, and his debut is imminent. But as a BGS 9, you've got to think this card is probably $1,000 USD with some ease, especially when he debuts. So we probably made $600 USD on paper with this Kraken cross. Very, very nice grade bump. Beautiful card, beautifully centered. Love Mr. Kjerstad. Fans of the channel know I've been a big fan of his for a very, very long time. Getting down to the nitty gritty here, folks. We got 2 more cards to reveal. Same order as the Mozzie and all the other PSAs. We cracked so many of these cards, sent them back. PSA 8 on the Quinn Priester Gold Refractor. It came back as a BGS 9. 2 9.5s and a 9. We just missed a min gem card, but I'm cool with going to a 9 from a PSA 8. Now, Quinn Priester has not pitched well for the Pirates. His ERA is well over 5. But he is young. I do like his ceiling, and I'm certainly happy having a 9 over a PSA 8. Very nice jump. Last card of the reveal, folks. It's a big card. You'll see the image on the screen. This was a Drew Romo True Red. This originally cost us $1,000 USD. Red Refractor 105. It was an SGC 9.5 Mint Plus. Ta-da! Min Gem BGS 9.5. Again, we can debate whether you'd rather have a Mint Plus SGC card. I would much rather have a BGS 9.5 True Gem card in terms of value, in terms of the slab, I mean, you name it. But Drew Romo, I do like this kid's future. Folks, that's it for the reveal. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done already, make sure to hit that subscribe icon so you know when content like this drops. I appreciate all of you. Have a phenomenal week.